you very much, Nicholas Coast. Are you ready to open up a can of worms? Here we go. Summer, often a stress-free time, or should be, more flexible time of year for divorced or separated parents. But, boy, the start of the school year can bring up some major problems that require a lot of attention and serious intentional planning. Penelope Hefner here, principal and family law attorney with Sodoma Law, joining us now to talk about, hopefully, navigating the muddy waters when it comes to the school year with kids living in two households. Penelope, thank you so much for being here. I was just saying, listen, I've lived this. I still live this situation. We need an hour to be able to talk about it. But when it comes to maybe it's child, what's the word I'm looking for? The child custody agreement. Can you put something in there where it comes to having open lines of communication when it comes to a school?
Yeah, you can, and you absolutely should.
Really?
So it would be great if everybody would include it. It doesn't always happen, but we like to consider things like how you communicate with the other parent when you do, how you can communicate with the school, how you do parent-teacher conferences. I tend to think the more detailed, the better, the more helpful.
That's a good idea. I didn't think about conferences. You know, at the beginning of this time of year is where you got 1,000 forms to fill out, emergency contacts, and if there's something going on with their grades. How do you make sure that, like in my instance, I live out of state. How do you make sure that there's equal communication going on? Because that's sometimes extra work for the teacher and the school.
That's right. So the first step is notifying the school, kind of letting them know just basically about the situation, providing your own set of information. And sometimes we tell parents, get one joint email that you both share and have access to just for school-related things.
That's smart. Okay, and also in this, you also are trying to appear to the kids, to your kids, that the parents are on the same page, even when you're not on the same page. And so you got to keep their emotions in check when you're doing this as well.
Absolutely.
All right, what are some other tools that you can recommend as far as trying to be on the same page?
So because school has a lot of deadlines, assignments, there's lots of apps and websites, there's Google Share Calendars, Our Family Wizard, there's lots of resources that help both parents communicate about school issues, set the calendar, know what's coming up ahead, and plan. How
do you deal with the expense when it comes to schools? Because usually in a divorce decree or however you have some kind of settlement, you're splitting medical costs and other type of things. How do you do when it comes to money? Because that's always where a lot of fights start.
That's right. And people don't think about it. And they just assume that's part of child support, or I'll just cover it this time. But then they realize that after you do school supplies, back to school clothing, field trips, there's a lot of expenses that come up. So it's good to define what you're going to cover and what you're going to share, and then how you're going to divide it.
Well, and sometimes there may be the argument, well, you may make more than I do or whatever, so you should have to pay this amount. I mean, is it always 50-50? Is it a case-by-case basis? How do you do it, really?
Case by case. Some people do 50-50 because they look at it like these are kind of necessities. Some people do it based on income. But it's just important to talk about it so you're on the same page and you don't have surprises.
That's what I was going to say. This is a great way to open the door of communication. Maybe review. Here's some ideas right here. Take that court order, your child custody agreement. Go over it right now. Don't wait until you're in the middle, till you're in the weeds in the middle of the school year. Go set up communication with the school. If you can't meet in person, sometimes a phone conference call with the school, and then go ahead and plan ahead when it comes to the school expenses. Again, it's all about the kids trying to lower their stress level.
That's right.
We're the adults, so we've got to be the one to act like adults. I got to remember that. Penelope, thank you so much with Sodoma Law, and if you've got any questions, you can certainly direct those to them as well. We're going to take a break.